Hey, Biscuits. I'm going to take off my blue light glasses. Protect your eyeballs, Biscuits, and your vision. Woo! I know they even have a tiny bit of prescription. Who knew I was so blind? I put these on now when I'm trying to work at a distance from my computer, and when I'm driving, because it just helps me see better. And I had no idea I had been driving blind for so long. I don't even have that bad of vision yet. It's like a 0.5 prescription, and it makes such a difference. So Biscuits, if you are putting off taking care of your eye vision, your eye health, and not come to an optometrist, go see one. I'm gonna sip my juicy. Ooh, that's so tasty. It's funny, I just realized what's on my side table. I have Vaseline for my lips. Also excellent for any eczema spots that you get on your skin. I'm gonna have a sparkly water and a sparkly juice. And I'm like, yeah, that sums up my self-care. Okay. So I was just popping off the computer I was editing, and it popped into my mind that I was like, I'm gonna totally talk about this. What are our self-care? How are we taking care of ourselves in March for the best homemaker life we can have, right? I love sharing on this channel all my homemaking tips, my cleaning, my tidying. I was gonna say my organizing. Let's be honest. Am I an expert organizer? I know, don't laugh so hard. That's mean-spirited. I really used to organize things. I guess I don't care enough anymore to be organized. I'm like, I have my minimum that I need to be organized, so I know where stuff is. But beyond that, I'm kind of like, I'd rather spend my time Netflixing, playing with the kids, going for a walk. Like, you know, I have other priorities in my life right now, which is not, I see on Instagram everybody has all the plastic bins and everything's organized. And I will say, I need to organize where I keep all my pastry and dry goods. I would call it my pantry, but it's really like 2 pull-out shelves in my kitchen. Because as you Biscuits know, my kitchen is the kitchen of not dreams. The crazy builder built it that doesn't cook, and so like there's nowhere to store anything. It's very strange. I've had other people look at it, like contractors, try to help me, and the price to fix it is just, I'm just gonna have to demolish it and fix it one day. So I'm gonna call it my pantry, but I feel like that's pretentious because it's 2 cabinet drawers is what I need to organize. So yes, maybe I don't share my organizing tips, but I share my homemaking tips, and part of that is self-care. And Biscuits, March is kind of having a real kick to the tuchus, I gotta say. There's a lot of crazy things. I have a bunch of mental wellness and mental health topics that I'm going to cover on my main channel. Anxiety, panic attacks, you know, just kind of how to be calm and happy, and you know, not let the world get you down, I guess is what I mean by that. So you can bop over to the main channel, see that all month long. But on here, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about some self-care. And let me know in the comments, would you Biscuits like to come along for YouTube friendly self-care demos? So like masks, and you know, I love those little eye mask things. I love sheet masks. I want to get back into full-on actual like masks that you apply, not just sheet masks. I used to do that all the time. I used to do a lot of like Origins masks and just all sorts of stuff, you know, back when I had free time to actually do things. And this year I'm really trying to focus on, I was talking about that in another one of my videos, taking care of my needs and myself, you know. I feel like my needs have kind of disappeared a little bit over the last couple years, and that's totally normal. That's just the season of life that I've been in, and it's been beautiful and joyful. But I feel like I'm in a place mentally and physically where I need to spend a little time on myself. If you were following along on my daily vlogs on the main channel, which I don't do daily anymore, but you know, I used to. My rib got all numb. I like pinched a nerve in or something. It's still not all the way better. And that was kind of wake up, like, I need to be taking better care of myself. I don't run myself ragged. I'm good about that now, but I'm not focusing on my self-care needs. So the biggest self-care things that really help me, and this is the number one, and it's so crazy to think about because it sounds so not a big deal, but when I experience it, it's so wonderful, is to give myself mental quiet space time. So if my brother's over playing with kids right now, which is what he's doing, he's got his son and my son and my daughter, and they're playing, and they're having a great time, and it's so lovely. And I was like frantic. Oh my God, okay, I gotta get all this done. Because my brother was doing me a favor because I couldn't get a babysitter and I needed to edit, right? And I realized that I felt this sense of productivity panic, you know? I need to get all this done, I need to be doing so. And I stopped and I was like, oh, well, I got that edited. What if I took a moment? What if I drank some sparkly juice, which is my little treat? And what if I took a little breather? And it was just a moment of quiet brain time. And I'd been starting to do that in January, where I'd been giving myself 5 or 10 minutes a day when I could, like not every day, just have quiet thinking, but not about anything in particular time. And for me, at least my personality, the way my brain works, I do so well when I have that mental self-care time. So I'm trying to implement that again and without guilt. February was an absolutely deranged month where I had to like juggle so much that my self-care just went out the window way more than it should have. So that's the number one thing, is just mental space. However you need that, it's really such a powerfully healing thing to then come back to the table and offer a better homemaking experience for your whole family, yourself included. Number 2, what do I love for self-care? Lotion! Oh my gosh, I'm a lotion fiend. I just had my brothers over and I was giving them tips on my lotions because I have so many. I think I'm gonna do some lotion tests out. I've pulled back and I haven't been buying some of my favorite lotions because during the Rona, I've just had a hard time finding them. I found an old, what is it called? It's like an udder balm for cows, but I use it on my skin. It's fabulous. I can't remember what it's called, udder something. And I found an old one of that. I was so excited. I had a little bit and I rubbed it on my hands and my arms. Oh, this is so nice. So once the supply chain gets fixed, I am getting back to my favorite lotions, but find lotions that just work wonderfully for you. It makes such a difference. I cannot overstate what a big difference it makes to have soft, happy skin, right? Lotion is about making sure your skin is hydrated, it's not cracked, it's not dry, you aren't getting those little dry, itchy bumps that you'll get. It's just great. And it's great year-round, so like focus on 10 minutes a day of having mental space so that you can be a good homemaker. Focus on, separate from those 10 minutes, don't be trying to multitask, because I see you, biscuits. I know that was my first thought too. It's like, how many self-care things can I do at once? That's not the point. I have to remind myself that all the time. The idea of self-care isn't to jam-pack as much self-care as you can in. It's like, no, come down. It's all good. Look, calm yourself. One self-care thing at a time. So have a little mental space during the day. Find a lotion that you really luxuriate in. I'm on the hunt for a Burt's Bee lotion that I love. I found it like 3 years ago, road tripping, and I have tried to hunt it down online, and gosh darn it, nobody has it. I can't find it. It's the most luscious. It's a Burt's Bees like royal jelly face cream. It's not the night cream that I can find everywhere. It's like, get a tiny jar. It is the most luxurious lotion. I'm gonna go hunt down some beekeepers to find some royal jelly. If I have to mix it in myself, I will be a little chemist because I want stuff. So a good, wonderful lotion. And number 3, maybe this seems silly, but food. I'm really focusing again, renewed, on food this spring. I've been fantasizing. I was text messaging my sister who lives in New Zealand. No, Australia. She moved. I apologize. I'm sorry, Australia. I'm aware you are not New Zealand. It's a bone of contention with her that people are like, it must be right next door in New Zealand. I'm like, no, I'm aware they're far apart. And we were both dreaming of our homesteading dreams, you know, and I was like, oh, beautiful vegetable garden, orchards. So since I'm not a homesteader, I'm trying to focus anew on what I'm putting into my body. I feel like in the winter I always gain a little weight, and I have gained some weight, and I gained some pandemic weight undeniably, and I haven't really tried to lose any postpartum weight because I didn't really feel like I needed to, and I didn't want to focus on that. So I'm trying to get healthy and think about the foods I'm eating, because I had all this sugar. I craved minutes of sugar because it was my daughter's first birthday, and like all week long we had all this leftover cake. I was just eating sugar, and then I hurt my rib and pinched my nerve, and I thought, you know what, maybe my body's really has a lot of inflammation going on because I'm not taking care of what I'm eating. So I am taking care again of focusing on my foods that I love, which is just adding in fruits and vegetables. You know, this time of year in the Pacific Northwest, it's so easy to kind of forget to eat enough fresh veggies. Yesterday it was not rainy, so we did a fire pit, and I made turkey burgers and homemade grilled cheese in the fire pit. It kind of all melted together, but it tasted delicious. Abraham loved it. And then I also roasted peppers over the flames, and those are so good. So I've put them in the fridge, and I'm going to chop them up all week, the flame roasted peppers, and I'm going to put them in omelets, and I'll put them in some pasta and just like mix them up with flavors, because it gets dull eating the same, you know, steamed broccoli in the freezer that is easy to have. So I'm trying to get creative in how healthy I am with the food that I'm eating, because I know that's going to make a big difference in my self-care. And maybe for other people, you're totally focused on vegetables and you have a hydroponic unit in your closet and you grow like all your own food and you have a rooftop orchard, or maybe you are a homesteader. That's awesome. I'm not quite there, so I'm trying to renew my awareness of what I'm eating so that I feel good and that I love all the food I'm eating, because I do not believe in dieting. I don't think that's at all sustainable. I don't think you should deprive yourself. I just try to eat I've tried to take out sugar in my diet, except for when I take my son for like mommy and me fun treats, you know, we'll go out and we'll get something. But I really try to bake at home so that we have lots of brownies and muffins and cookies, but that are sugar-free and that maybe have different types of flours in them, just to kind of help. I really try to focus on an inflammation-friendly diet. So kind of a Mediterranean diet, you know? Eat lots of fruits, lots of veggies, lots of grains. I love carbs. I love fat. I just want to be eating a good balance of it and kind of less processed food, and really try to avoid sugar as much as I can, because I'm a sugar fiend. I get sugar in me and I'm like, I need all the sugar. Give me back. I'm going to scoop the bags of sugar raw, you know? I go crazy around sugar. I can't be trusted around sugar. I just know it. So I'd rather have like really healthy, amazing, homemade, delicious bread with cheese. I'd rather have delicious pasta that I've let cool first, and then I heat up the sauce once the pasta is cooling. And that actually changes the way your body digests it, and it's much better for insulin spikes. It really keeps those down. So that's kind of how I'm eating and how I'm trying to take care of myself mentally, physically, and also internally. I'm really trying to take care of my body this spring. I think it's so important. How can we nurture a good home if we aren't nurturing a good space for ourselves right in our lives? And it might seem like small things, but for me, it really changes how I'm living my week. Okay, my emails are popping up. Oh my goodness. Okay, biscuits. I'm going to go try to reply to lots of your Patreon emails, because I just saw how many there are. If you don't see me reply to your Patreon email, just comment on one of the videos or photos I post on there. That's easier for me to see than the amount of emails I get. So just in case like, hey, why didn't you reply? That might be why. It might be like down there in the stack of, you know, number 78, number 102, number 207 was one day an email I was replying to. Okay, biscuits, I will see you in the next video. Love y'all, giant hugs. Oh, what's that? Oh, you get an internet hug.